Hey guys, Liverpool Smith here. It is the 1st of January 2019. So this will be the first video of the year. Um, this is going to be a review video for Mary Poppins Returns. I just saw that about an hour and a half ago. Just came back from watching it. Again, another excellent film by Disney. Um, Basically, it is a sequel to Mary Poppins. This one's set I think 20 or 30 years after the first one. Um, it's still set in London, and it basically focuses on Michael and Jane all grown up, and it has Michael's three kids with them. Now, I think his wife passed away, but um, she you didn't get to see her in the film. It was just like mentioned a few times at the beginning. So he has to look after the kids with his sister. And they're living in a big fancy house in London, which I believe is his father's house that he inherited off his father, Mr. Banks. Um, Now this one again, it's going to be another classic um, because the scenery was nice, the set design was nice, costume design was excellent, sound design. It was a musical, yes, and I'm not quite keen on musicals, but some like this one I really like because the songs you can really get into. That's the thing. I can really get into these sort of songs. Um, it's got a well-known cast in it. Um, Now it's not Bert because his character is not in this one. However, the actor who plays Bert is in it, but playing a different character. Um, so there are no chimney sweeps because obviously I don't think because this one's set in the I think it's set in the set in the 40s, something like set in either the 30s or 40s. Can't really remember, but uh, there wasn't any chimney sweeps in this one. There was just lamplighters, and Jack was a lamplighter in this one, and he's part of the main um, cast in it. So this was obviously in a time where cars were coming in, so you could see like motorised vehicles here and there, and people riding on bikes and things like that. So there are like themes with obviously the banks going gone to the bank to get a loan out, and that was part of the main story. Because like the main part of the story is the house. If Michael doesn't pay off what is due, then the bank takes the house away. He gets 5 days, and then if he doesn't pay up, then the house is taken away, and he has to find the money to save the house. It's basically the banks making scummy deals and stealing the house if you don't pay up in time. Unfortunately, you still get that today, which is rather unfortunate. So that is why you should never take out a loan or never take out a mortgage, because you're going to pay up more than you owe anyway. So it's pointless. So cutting away from that, Mary Poppins was a really nice character, obviously, because the movie is about her, really. Emily Blunt was the one who played her in this one. It did have, like I said before, it did have a returning character from the original, Dick Van Dyke. He played the older banker, um, the other banker's father, uh, which turned out that the boss, wasn't it Colin Firth? There you are. His character played the head guy from the bank. Turns out he was a bad guy. So yeah, there was some callbacks from the first film, which done a little bit differently. Like they had the Lamplighter song was a homage to the chimney sweep number what they had in the original one, and they had things like the animated sets, which another thing that I like about this one, it kept its old animation style for the animated parts, which was excellent. I'm so glad that they didn't mix that really bad CGI with it, because it wouldn't look right with real people and stuff. You got to do it a certain way. That's why I think they decided to keep it plain and simple, because it would look pleasing to it. Like if they had like the new CG animated characters with it, then it wouldn't look as good. It would look so off-putting. So that's why they use normal 2D animation, which I'm so glad they did. So there were some really funny moments, but it kept it to a minimum of comedy and more on the musicals and the storyline and character development. So that was good. Like I said, it was set in London. I'm not quite sure what area of London though, but I'm pretty sure it was Westminster, because you could see the Elizabeth Tower every so often. And before people go on, the Elizabeth Tower is essentially the tower that holds Big Ben. Big Ben is the bell in the tower. So the official name for the tower with the giant clock in it in London is the Elizabeth Tower. It's a bit of trivia for you. Really nice scenery, nice and colourful as well, especially the animated parts. Nice for memorable songs in it. So overall, it's really good and really nice and pleasing to see. I'm going to upload this tonight, and I'm going to get an update video for the whole of this year, possibly on Thursday. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to record tomorrow though, so yeah. So yeah, go and see this movie if you haven't already, and if you have, then tell me what you thought in the comments in the description, and I will see you next time.